Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock, and we'll go ahead and start our February County Council meeting. Councilman Faulkner, would you care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we humbly stand before you to thank you for giving us another day on this beautiful earth. We also thank you for the myriad blessings you shower upon us so abundantly. We ask that you grant us wisdom in our works and kindness in our hearts. We ask that you forgive us of our sins and help us become better human beings. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
First order of business will be to approve the minutes from January's meeting, please.
Second.
Are there any comments? All those in favor,
Aye.
say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Minutes are approved. Next order of business will be additional appropriations. Madam Auditor?
Ordinance number 2023-HCCO-8, additional appropriations. Whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money than was appropriated in the 2023 annual budget. Now therefore be it ordained by the County Council of Howard County, Indiana, that the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named and for the purposes specified, subject to the laws governing the same. County General, Sheriff, FICA, $382.50. Employee service bonus, $5,000. Coroner contract services, $2,025. Veteran service assistant office manager, $1,000. Commissioners benefits coordinator, $37,500. Humane Society services, $10,000. Basement restoration, $49,102.96. Probation case manager, $1,635. Probation officer, $4,142. Retroactive pay, $2,135.43. Information systems, cybersecurity administrator, $1,000. Systems administrator, $1,000. Total county general fund, $114,922.89. Lit special purpose fund, jail, FICA, $191.25. Employee service bonus, $2,500. Total lit special purpose fund, $2,691.25. Lit public safety fund, FICA, $191.25. Employee service bonus, $2,500. Total lit public safety fund, $2,691.25. Law enforcement fund, employee service bonus, $15,000. We are withdrawing this. The employee service bonus will be withdrawn. So that makes the total additional appropriations, subtracting the $15,000 out, $120,305.39.
Thank you, Madam Auditor. I'm going to call up Veteran Services Director, Mr. Truex, first, please.
Good afternoon, Council. In the past almost 4 years now, Howard County's had 3 veteran service officers. Okay, in that time, Deb Rahi was hired for the Veteran Service Office by 2 of my predecessors ago. She left the Veteran Service Office without notice, without warning, and it was incumbent upon Debbie to kind of take the reins. She got certified as a VSO. She began to do
And who,
claims.
what's Debbie's last name, please?
Deb Rahi.
Thank you.
She took the reins, she got certified. She's still getting certifications. As a matter of fact, she just recently became certified. There's only 4 BSOs in the northern region of the state that has her level of certification. But she was the interim CVSO for Howard County until the next one was interviewed and hired. He was here for a year. He left, and in that time, she had trained him to be the CVSO. After he left and I was hired, Deb trained me to be the CVSO. She has went well above and beyond her purview and original job description, which is why I felt it part of my duty that when I found out I was getting a pay raise and I'd only been here 2 or 3 months, I didn't really feel like I'd earned that. So I wanted to portion part of my pay raise to Deb because I felt like she has carried that office now for the better part of 2 or 3 years. So when I had the PAC meeting, they said that the percentage I gave was a little bit lower than 1,000. That's why it was increased to 1,000. So that's why I put that pay raise in.
It was very admirable of what you're doing for your staffer, and that you would want to offer some of your pay to her just speaks volumes of your character, and thank you very much. But we would not have 1 minute of taking anything from your pay. And just for council's background information, this went before PAC and it was approved unanimously that Deb
Rahi.
Receive a $1,000 addition to her pay. And is there any questions from council members?
So this did not come from his pay, is that what you said?
We would not allow that.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
just want to clarify.
Yeah.
But thank you for that gesture also.
Thank you, Councilman.
Any comments?
Is the office running smoothly?
Define smoothly. It's, yes, I feel like we're at a level right now where we're packed full house all the time, which is, I think it's a testament to the job we're doing. So, yeah, it really, yeah. Smoothly, I don't know if we're ever gonna get this smoothly, but we're gonna get somewhere.
Does this come as a one-time increment, or?
No, I think this is permanent. I think that's what we adjusted or calculated. Yeah. She's been permanent the whole time. She's been teaching the whole time and lifting the department up the whole time. Yeah. There's no other questions? Mr. Truex, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay.
I apologize, but I have to leave.
No, you're fine. Thanks for coming in. If we may have Sheriff Asher, please.
Good. This is a little bit of a carryover from last month's. I asked permission to use commissary money to do a lateral bonus for a new deputy, a new jail officer, and a new dispatcher. So what we're asking here is to actually do the appropriation for $5,000 from the general fund, plus the FICA that we're going to provide $382.50. $2,500 out of lit special purpose jail, plus the FICA $191.25, and then public safety dispatch $2,500, plus the $191.25 for a total of that. So basically, we're asked permission to do this last month, which we got. Now we have to actually switch the money. So that's what we're wanting to do, is take the money out of commissary and then additional into those 3 funds.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Thank you, Sheriff. Is there any questions or comments from the council members?
So I assume since you're wanting to do this, you've got some people in line?
I already have 3 that they're going to, so.
Awesome.
A new deputy, a new dispatcher, and a new jail officer, so yes, already got, it's already spent.
Good ones?
It's like your paycheck.
Did you
Good
get-
ones?
did you get
Well,
good ones?
We don't hire bad ones. All good, all good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Was there any other questions for the sheriff? No? If we can please have Dr. Seeley, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Last year, my office switched to the way that we handled photographs and evidence to the Axon system. Just to kind of educate you on that, the Axon system is the same thing that the Kokomo Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, and the Indiana State Police use. It also involves their body cams. We're not involved in the body cam part, but we are involved in, photographing scenes and things like that. And we have to store those photos, and we have to make them readily available to, obviously, other investigating agencies, as well as the prosecutor's office and defense attorneys and insurance companies, and the list goes on and on, sometimes family members. Of course, that involves burning discs, mailing, handling, keeping evidence flow sheets and who they go out to and that sort of thing. So I came before the council last year. We initiated this. It's been going well. One of the things we didn't know was how much storage we would need. We estimated that and thought we would be okay. And I had an updated email sent to me on the 23rd from Axon. We were allotted 90 gigabytes, and we've used 88.4. Okay. So what I want to do is switch the contract and upgrade it to an unlimited. One of the questions that was asked by one of you, I can't remember, asked me about photographs and, about how they go on out. In the coroner's office, record keeping is a little bit different than some other office holders. We're mandated by law that we have to maintain all records for 100 years. And so,
Please say that again.
Yeah, all records for the Howard County, for the coroner's office by state statute have to be maintained for 100 years. So I have many, many, many file cabinets over there, just absolutely packed and full. So it's just like when I digitized and did everything with all the medical records and things that we have, that's the same thing I did here. The other thing that happened when we did this too is we did away with me supplying all of the deputies with high dollar cameras. We combined that with the iPhone because the technology in the iPhone is just as good as the cameras we were using. And so now when the photographs are taken at scenes, those are immediately uploaded. They're off the phone and they're in the storage system automatically. And so when somebody does have access to this, or we get a court order to release to this, it automatically records the roster of who had the picture, who took what, and those things don't come up often, but it could come up often in rules of evidence in courtrooms. And if there's a picture over here and a picture there, and somebody's question one being altered, that sort of thing, that protects against all of that. So is the quote that I got from Axon to upgrade the existing contract. When I brought the contract forward, the first time it was for 2 years, and it came just right at about $3,000. And to switch it to for the rest of the 14 months in the existing contract is an additional $2,022.72. Now this year I asked for nothing in the budget in this because this was a 2-year contract, and that's the way Axon does it. Initially, it's a 2-year contract when you're a new client, and then after that it goes year by year. So the next year, then it'll be a whole new budget. I'll put in the budget, and it'll probably come in, I'm imagining, right around $4,500 to $5,000. I do have $2,500 in my contract budget right as we speak, but that is for hazardous waste that runs us about $150 a month, and also the contract on our copy machine in our office, and that's what that $2,500 is already allotted for.
Okay. Are there any questions for Dr. Seeley?
So these records would have to be digitized anyway, regardless, right? I mean, what you are doing is
No,
up to date.
no. The way, since the pictures are already taken and they're digital photos anyway.
Right.
They're not maintained on disk and stored in the files. They're stored up on in this system, and then that way we communicate with all other agencies. So when there's a case that involves another agency, it's all together under one thing. And so when the prosecutor needs to get into that, then they can get into it. Whatever investigating agency that we're working with can automatically have access. And then we also get court order subpoenas and those type of things from defense attorneys in cases, and so we have to allot that thing. Coroner's offices are not allowed to destroy the paper records that we have. And matter of fact, there's a request before the right now in reference to coroners being allowed to dispose of the paper records once they're digitized. Now, when Howard County went through that digitizing process on the grant that Pam worked on, yes, our records were digitized, but I also had to have the records back to maintain. So I went ahead and did it, but I couldn't destroy the records like you guys were able to do with the ones that you had digitized because of the law under the coroners thing. But there is a request right now before the House and Senate for to get that changed. But we'll see. It may die in the Senate, so I'm not sure.
Just one more question, please. Okay, so next year you'll renew the contract, and you're thinking it's gonna be 5,000.
Right.
So it's 5,000 for 2 years right now?
Well, with this, that would include this $2,000, the 14 months. So I'm just estimating it's going to come between $4,000 and $5,000. Right. Yeah, for 1 year. Right. Yeah.
You'll have that in your budget.
Well, yeah, I'll put it in the budget. I mean, I would have put this in the budget, but obviously we have to turn those in July and August or whenever that is, and there was no way for me to know this until now. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Commissioner Bray?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have 3 items. My glasses, I see what I'm doing. The first is the benefits coordinator is moving to full-time. This has been PAC approved. Second is for the Humane Society, the $10,000 was to upgrade their phone system. What that is doing, this is to take dispatch totally out of the picture. Dispatch, they get into this and it's it's been a mess and it's hard for them to deal with it. So what they do is when they get a dog call or whatever animal call, they hit the button, it sends it to the call center that this $10,000 is doing to get this call center going. Then they handle it from there on out. This dispatch is out of it, and then the Humane Society handles from there on out. Their call center does. They call the person back, they follow up, they do everything. It's got its hiccups so far a little bit, but we're working through those. But it's going to work. I'll go to all 3 of these questions. And the third is the basement restoration, I guess. And this is with insurance funds that we got from last year, and we used a Form 1 on this. We filled out a Form 1 to pay for that out of insurance proceedings from last year. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the dispatch gets the call. The dispatch is the one that sends it over to the Humane Society.
If they get the call, the way I understand, they will send it over to the call center, or eventually what I think they're hoping is there'll be a number, they'll just call the call center for Humane Society.
Okay.
I think, Sheriff, isn't that right? On that? I believe it is. Eventually we'll have dispatch totally out of it as our plan because it's just too much to try to deal with calling the person back and all the stuff they've got going on anyway up there. If you've ever been to dispatch, you know it's a zoo up there. And they do a fantastic job, so. Anything else?
Before you get away, can we get Carrie Reneker to come up and explain about her benefits coordinator, please?
So I requested a full-time position, additional full-time position in human resources to help with our ability to meet the needs of our employees. I need the extra assistance of someone there full-time to help answer employee questions and be there to guide employees so that I can concentrate on some bigger things. So that is the reason for the request.
Thank you. And this went before PAC, and it was approved unanimously for PAC. Is there any questions the council might have for either one of them? As I remember, you were talking about your office was kind of vulnerable if there was, with a part-time person, if anybody took some time off for any reason,
Correct.
your office would close and there would be no one there.
That is
and
right.
that was part of the catalyst for filling in that spot.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
IT Director Jeremy Stevens, please.
Good evening. I am here requesting an additional appropriation of $2,000. It is to modify the salaries of two of my employees, the cybersecurity administrator and the network administrator. This has gone before the PAC committee with approval. It's new money this year, but it's the money's come from a previous position. I had the salary was lowered, so I had $4,000 reduction. So I basically took those responsibilities, split it between the staff, cut the right down the middle, 2,000, 1,000 each position, and then the other 2,000 back to the budget. So that's what I'm here to do, is get approval for that.
Is there any questions from council members?
Comment?
Yes.
I think IT department does an outstanding job. They're all departments. They appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Martha.
That's for sure. IT, with the way we operate now, I seem to call your office more than I want to, just for help, and appreciate all you do and the expertise of your staff.
Well, thank you. We're happy to help. So
Yeah. Thank you.
thank you.
Probation, I'm sorry, Dustin, I hopped right over there.
That's okay. I started to stand up and then got the more important guy. IT is the most important thing we got going on.
Sorry.
I appreciate that. Well, good afternoon. I have a few items here that are cleanup. I made an error in our budgeting this year. We had one position that is a fiscal year grant-funded position. They were not budgeted for the wage increase last year. So we're fixing that, and then we're also amending the salary for his salary for 2023 as well, to get him in line with where he should be. The other one, I had two people. You know how I split out my salaries. I have a percentage here and a percentage there. I had two people with the same one. I thought I duplicated it on accident. It was intentional, so I removed one. So I'm here to add that back in. So it's to supplement the salary of one of my work release case managers. It was the intention from the beginning. I just did not get it on the county budget. It was on my state budget, but this is to fix that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the only things that I have in front of you today.
Okay. Your comments or questions for Dustin? I might add that your department budget is the largest single budget in county government, and it's by far the most complex with all the revenue streams that come into it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all that you do and all your staff does.
Well, I appreciate you folks working with me through the errors and mistakes, because they're bound to happen. We have 8, 9 different accounts we're paying out of at any given time, and everybody has multiple accounts that they're paid out of, and it's based on funding sources and job responsibilities. So we have to kind of make that work in a special kind of way, and I appreciate you working with me. So thank you.
Thank you,
Well,
Dustin.
thank you, Dustin, for working and making all these grants happen. I know it's a lot of work, but it's a benefit to the county, so thank you for that.
It is a lot of work, and while I'm here, I may as well go ahead and forewarn you. I will be back next month with more, because
Of course.
we had to budget our state budget pre-award of bonuses. So I have to do a lot of rearranging, and I'll be back in not March but April to do those. I have to go in front of the advisory board before I bring them to you. So I will be back with several adjustments and corrections just to get salaries in line and out of the right accounts. So,
Thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments about any of the additional appropriations? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move we approve the additional appropriations, recognizing we pulled that 4930.
The motion was properly made by Councilman Faulkner and Councilwoman Lake. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next order of business will be transfers. Madam Auditor?
Resolution number 2023-HCCR-2, transfers. Whereas the county council may approve the transfer of money from one major budget classification to another within a department or office, if the transfer does not require the expenditure of more money than the total amount set out in the budget as finally determined, and if the transfer is approved at a regular public meeting and by a proper ordinance. Be it resolved by the County Council of Howard County that it is desired and deemed necessary that the following transfers be made within the accounts of the designated funds as set out below. County General Fund, Auditor, Second Deputy Finance to First Deputy Tax, $1,248.72. Second Deputy Finance to Second Deputy Tax, $35,808.28. Sheriff Deputy to Task Force Coordinator, $2,810. Process Server to Courthouse Lieutenant, $1,781.84. Plat Book Fund Hourly Pay to First Deputy Tax, $25.28. Hourly Pay to Second Deputy Tax, $823.48. Auditors Ineligible Homestead Deduction Fund, Second Deputy Finance to hourly pay $756.
Thank you. Madam Auditor, it looks like the first one here is for you. If you could please
So when
present
we,
it.
during our 2021 audit, it was brought to our attention that anybody who has the same title, the same job,
Excusez-moi.
So any employee that is paid from the same line, that their salary should match that, or we would have to create a new account for each position in our office. So to be compliant with State Board of Accounts, we took the second deputies on the tax side and we made all their salaries the same, which this all did go to PAC and was approved unanimously. Yeah, and the ineligible homestead and plat book funds, 3% of salaries are paid from that. So that's the reasoning for the other two funds on there. Questions?
Any questions for Madam Auditor?
As long as we keep the State Board of Accounts happy, I'm happy.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff Asher?
Back again. So it looks like I'm here for transfer. So I approached the PAC. We had a PAC meeting. I believe this was approved during that time, and we were able to take, instead of doing an additional appropriation, take $2,810 from deputy line item to put into my task force coordinator. I think that was unanimously approved for that. And then I think the second one here is from process server to lieutenant, my courthouse lieutenant retired. I think this is still cleanup. Maybe Jessica can answer that a little bit better, but I think this is still cleanup, just trying to cover that salary. And we were able to take that out of process server into courthouse lieutenant, and I think we're finally done with that, I hope. I believe. That's, yes. If not, I make a motion to take it out of Dale Truax's salary. Since he's not here to argue anymore, I would agree with that. So if you guys, he might not, but I would agree. So I'd be up for any questions you have.
Any questions for the
Has anybody got Dale on speed dial? Here. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate
Thank you. Well, with that being said, if there's no questions from the council, I'll entertain a motion to approve the transfers.
Move to approve the transfers as presented.
Second.
Motion's been properly made by Councilman Alexander and Councilman Maple. All those in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next order of business will be salary ordinance.
Salary ordinance number 2023-HCCO-9, salary ordinance amendments, an ordinance amending and increasing staffing and salary authorization to be paid county employees for the calendar year effective January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, as originally approved for the year 2023, except where otherwise noted. Be it ordained by the Howard County Council of Howard County, Indiana, that for the said fiscal year, the following salary amendments are approved as additional changes to the basic salary ordinance for the same fiscal year. Necessary personal services appropriations have been approved previously to support the required expenditure of necessary funds. County General Fund Auditor, $1,248.72. Second Deputy Finance, reduction $37,057. Second Deputy Tax, $35,808.28. Sheriff Deputy, reduction $2,810. Courthouse Lieutenant, $1,781.84. Task Force Coordinator, $2,810. Process Server, reduction $1,781.84. FICA, $382.50. Employee Service Bonus, $5,000. Veterans Services, Assistant Office Manager, $1,000. Commissioners Benefit Coordinator, $37,500. Probation Case Manager, $1,635. Probation Officer, $4,142. Retroactive Pay, $2,135.43. Information Systems, Cybersecurity Administrator, $1,000. Systems Administrator, $1,000. Lit Special Purpose Fund Jail, FICA, $191.25. Employee Service Bonus, $2,500. Lit Public Safety Fund FICA, $191.25. Employee Service Bonus, $2,500. Flatbook Fund Hourly Pay, reduction $848.76. First Deputy Tax, $25.28. Second Deputy Tax, $823.48. Auditors and Eligible Homestead Deduction Fund, hourly pay, $756. Second Deputy Finance, reduction, $756. Law Enforcement Fund, Employee Service Bonus, withdrawn.
Thank you, Madam Auditor. Are there any questions or comments about the salary ordinance amendments? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been properly made by Councilman Faulkner and Councilwoman Lake. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you, motion passes. Next order of business will be old business. Is there any old business to deal with? We have new business. Is there any new business to deal with? Looks like we have encumbrances.
We have our encumbrance report, which I think you'll find in all of your packets. That is in total $736,658.48. And it's all broken down in your packets.
Thank you. Is there any questions about 2022, 2023 encumbrances from council members?
Actually, I have a comment again. This is really good because it's a low amount to income from one year to the next. So that starting balance is high.
Thank you.
John, I'm sorry, I had a little problem hearing what Martha's comment was. Could you repeat that for us?
Oh, Many times this amount has been up over $1 million or close to $2 million even. But I think we're not carrying forward the salaries now like we used to because it just, the system just continues on, so we don't have to put it in the encumbrance report. But this is a really low number for encumbrance county, which means that we're off to a good start because if you look at this, these balances are good that we have
Mhm.
start out with. Now, I'm assuming that this is January.
It's 131.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, because these balances are great.
Okay.
So what that represents, I think what I'm hearing is that we run a tight ship. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Do we vote to approve the encumbrances, or is this just a matter of business?
It has to be presented by the auditors. I would make the motion to accept those as the auditor has presented to us. I mean, if that's okay.
Of course it is. Do I hear a second? Second. There's been a motion to accept the encumbrances report made properly from Councilwoman Lake and seconded by Councilman Cuthbert. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Another order of new business would be the PTA BOA appointment recommendations.
Also known as PETA BOA. Property tax assessment. Board of Appeals, if you wanted to know what that meant. So my board is appointed by a couple by the commissioners and then by the council as well. This year, my recommendations are Mark Tornstein, Susie Woolley, and Sheila Pullen.
And can you expand on what they do?
Well, once we send out our assessment notices, the yellow sheets you get in May, if somebody wants to appeal their assessment, they think their house isn't valued, what we have it valued at, they can appeal. And it comes before that board of 5 for them to decide if the value is correct or make adjustments as needed.
Okay. Okay. Is there any questions for Madam Assessor?
You have 2 appointed by the commissioner and 3 appointed by the council.
Yep.
Do they come from within your office?
No, they're not allowed to work in my office. So we just try to pick people who have some kind of knowledge of value. So Sheila was the previous assessor, so she's certified and obviously has knowledge of assessments, and a few of them are realtors.
Just curious, what does PETA BOA stand for?
Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Once you know it, it's obvious. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, if there's no more questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to accept the PETA BOA appointment recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been properly made by Councilman Alexander and Councilman Maple. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll
you.
start them down here to get signed and look at it.
Thank you. Is there any other council business to be brought up? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Meeting is adjourned.